Ross Bolen Podcast.
You better listen.
Welcome back to the Ross Bolen Podcast, otherwise known as RBP, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, back again, as always, with your co-host, Chris Coulson. Chris, say hello.
Howdy, gang.
What's good?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, guys.
Hey. I'm feeling great this morning, Ross. Hope you are, too.
I am.
Ready for a great day?
I'm hungry,
I'm
but
a
other
little
than that, I
hungry,
can't
too.
complain.
Hungry
I can't
for
complain.
knowledge?
Hungry for content.
Nice.
If you're new here, our comedy podcast has been around a few years. Every week on Monday and Wednesday, we discuss mental health, current events, sports, music, history, animals, and more right here on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, or wherever you're listening and or watching. We're opening today's show with a brand new segment off the rip, before the intro, really. Why not?
Why not? We have no laws here, no rules. We're
Nope.
free, wild.
And my poem that I'm going to read you is kind of about that. First segment, RBP Poetry Circle. So I've decided that every week, Chris and I will each write a poem. Sometimes funny, sometimes serious.
I wore a sweater today for our poetry.
He did. I'm wearing sunglasses indoors, much like a heroin-addicted poet might.
Sure.
We're going to share these poems with each other and everyone listening and give feedback to one another, and it's going to be great. You'll love it.
And everyone at home is going to snap along.
You better love it because it's happening now. And I'm going to start.
After you, good sir.
Money in the bank. Blood upon my shank. Try a pirate lord like me, and I'll make you walk the plank. Ahoy me mateys, let's storm the beach. Some British turds there, a lesson we will teach. A pirate's life for me, I'm a master of the sea. Bathing in the booty, full of rum and Hennessy. That was it. That was it, Chris. Your thoughts?
I was moved.
Is that what
to be
poetry
honest.
people do? They snap at each other?
You cannot.
Clapping is too abrasive?
You have to know at this point in your life that you snap after poetry. I refuse to believe that you don't
No
know
golf
that.
clap?
No.
Can't do a
Snaps.
golf
Always,
clap?
It's always the snaps.
I thought snaps was like a sorority thing. It definitely is. I promise you. It
Like
could be
what?
a poetry thing too. I don't know that it's not.
You just haven't spent enough time at poetry slams. Dude, I'd be like
I've
pounding
spent
coffee.
too much
and-
time around sorority girls
That's true.
and not nearly enough time around poetry slams. My only familiarity with poetry slams actually comes from a very old Mike Myers movie titled I Married an Axe Murderer is the name of the movie.
Sure. I've
It's
never
from
seen
the
that
late 80s or early 90s. I can't remember. It's outrageous, but in it, Mike Myers is a slam poet.
one. Okay.
And he goes and performs,
Sure.
and they didn't have any snapping.
Really?
No snapping.
Well, my experience.
Bongos, yes. Snapping, no.
Okay. Understandable. My experience
Woman!
with slam.
Sorry.
Slam. Oh, you're fine. You know, I accept that. My experience with slam poetry comes
Whoa,
also
man! All right, I'm done.
from a movie,
I'm done.
but I believe it's 21 Jump Street. It is. Cynthia.
Yep.
Cynthia.
See? Okay.
Jesus died for our Cynthias. And they all snap at the end of that one. Well, they they hesitantly snap at
Is
the
this
end of
the
that
only
one.
place you have that snap knowledge from 21 Jump
I
Street?
believe also that awkward moment features snaps at a poetry
Don't know
thing.
what that is.
I believe.
Tight.
Zac
Very,
Efron
very
movie.
tight. Oh,
And Michael B.
huge.
Jordan and Miles Teller all in the same movie, actually.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that it didn't get, I love it. It's one of my favorite movies. Hilarious. And, it's like a rom-com, pretty cute.
But
Anyways,
a lot of ladies watch this film.
And Coles. Probably, actually. Well, no, it's more like a rom-com for guys. Like, it's not really about the girl at all.
Just straight girls and gay dudes.
Sure.
I'm
No.
saying would be particularly
For girls?
drawn to that cast.
Oh, okay.
Very good-looking threesome of leading men.
I'm drawn to that cast as well. They are very good-looking men.
Good for you.
Okay, thank you.
Good for you.
But also-
I'm scared of that particular cast in that film.
You don't want
It
to take your
seems
girl
like
to that cast.
the fact that I haven't heard of it and those three people star in it means it cannot be good. But continue.
It probably isn't. It's kind
Continue,
of
continue.
trash. So just to clarify, were you putting yourself in the boots of the pirate?
Like, was I writing the poem as a pirate, or was it to represent pirates?
No, or was it to was it the deeper? Because I was thinking it was the deeper meaning of your free-spirited nature wanting to sail the seas of freedom and release the chains that have held you down in society these days.
It's really about the ocean of life.
Yeah.
You know? That's
what I saw
and
as well.
becoming a master of that while staying not sober. That's what it was about.
Becoming the captain of your own ship.
Really taking the helm.
Yeah.
Of your own vessel.
Yeah.
You know?
And just sailing to the horizon of destiny.
Just bathing in booty.
Lots of booty everywhere.
Yeah. All right, let's hear your poem. Let's hear it.
Sure. Mine's a little more of a serious note, and no rhyme scheme to mine. I'm going to be honest. It's more just from the heart,
just a
kind of
free
form
poetry.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's interesting. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for him.
I would call it maybe an ode or a ballad, potentially, is what I would call this.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Let's see what you got.
I'm going to take a sip of water real quick just so...
Yeah, clear the throat.
Just so we're all good.
Make
for
sure
the
you're
entire
not
time.
too nasally, but drop down like 1 octave for seriousness, you know. That's how poets do it.
Is it? Okay.
No, I don't know.
Football. The faux religion of America, sending millions flocking to their local cathedral Sunday after Sunday, expending their sweat, tears, and vocal cords all in support of their football family. For most, a life of cyclical disappointment, on varied levels as it may be, for at the end of the year only one can raise the holiest of holy objects. But in that predicament lies the magic, making you believe. And that's what you did. You were the light that escaped the black hole. You came into my city with nothing but a wide smile and work effort, and you left with more than just an on-field hero. You left as our real-life Superman.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You brought us from the deepest valleys to the highest peaks and everywhere in between, but hell, I wouldn't have it any other way, for therein lies the magic. Sunday after Sunday, you filled our living rooms with the joys of broken tackles, downfield bombs, dabs, and dance moves, grinning from ear to ear, arms wide out like an airplane, and every time it looked like you damn near might just fly. You never stopped loving. On or off the field, you genuinely cared. You made a difference. You left an impact. You created your own destiny. What you did for my city, I cannot thank you enough. Memories will waft through the blue and silver seats of 800 Mint Street for all of eternity. The echoes of MVP chants and the caucus explosions of 80,000 souls cheering just for you.
Caucus.
And I am sorry. I am sorry you never got the proper goodbye you deserved. I am sorry so many turned their backs on you after you gave your mind, body, and soul to them unconditionally.
This is pathetic.
I'm sorry you never got the credit you deserved, and somehow found some way, and people somehow found a way to question you one way or another.
He's gonna cry.
You inspire me to be me every day. You once stated, "Prove it or lose it," and I strive to live by that mantra.
Jesus.
Continue to do you. Continue proving every single person wrong that doubts you wrong.
This is an open letter.
Cameron Jarrell Newton, this is my closure. Thank you. Use this chapter to solidify that you are all time. And finally, goodbye.
Next week I'm going to have you look up the definition of a poem. That was an open letter to Cam Newton.
It was my free-form poetry to form closure.
First I thought it was about me.
No, you didn't.
And then I was like, wait a minute. This is about Cam Newton.
Yes. So yesterday, Ross and I were in the car. And a lot of the times, I'll be honest.
What? I'm not even going to review your poem?
Well, I just want to give the basis on why this was my poem of choice for today. Ross said that I need closure. I need to move on.
Your poem needs an explanation. Okay.
I was preaching to the wrong choir, and at this point, I needed something to lay it all out on the line.
Me being the wrong choir.
Correct.
He can't let Cam go.
Correct. I cannot.
He's a Carolina Panthers fan, okay?
Huge Panthers fan.
Cam Newton, obviously the head quarterback of the New England Patriots, now also has COVID, so not really. But Coles yesterday in the car was back to talking about Cam, and I was like, Coles, enough. No one cares.
He did say that.
I was like, Coles, earlier this week, the Texans made a decision to essentially make what was trading away the best receiver in the NFL, in my opinion, and arguably in the top 3, for a washed old running back named David Johnson and a bag of potato chips. I think we gave away some picks somehow in that one too. The man that made that happen is no longer a part of the Texans organization, and we'll discuss him later, essentially making the loss of DeAndre Hopkins, one of my favorite players in history, and arguably the franchise player for the Texans outside of Deshaun Watson, Hopkins? What?
You got it?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson.
Correct.
And it like, you got so many years, a Super Bowl run, all these things with Cam. We never got any of that. We
Yes.
barely got a year with a quarterback.
Correct. And so Ross, in the car, after I brought up Cam for probably the 70th time in the last month, said that enough was enough, and I needed to move on.
So
And
you
I
wrote an
realized-
open letter instead of a poem.
I realized that my free-form poetry in open letter form was the way that I needed closure.
I
And
hope you
thank
achieved
you-
it.
I
because
thank you, gang,
on God,
for listening.
next time
Cam-
you bring him up, I'm just going to start going down the list of athletes that Houston has burned the end of their relationship with. Andre Johnson, Hakeem Olajuwon. I'll just start now. No, but they've fortunately repaired a lot of these relationships over the years. But no, it is not uncommon to have your franchise athlete unceremoniously. Look at Tom Brady.
I think for
Look
me,
at Tom Brady, man.
it
Tom
was
Brady
just,
plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. He is the New England Patriots franchise to so many people, and it's just that's sports. But I hope you got your closure.
I got my closure. I feel good now.
Good. And that was the first ever RBP Poetry Circle. We hope you enjoyed it. It featured one poem and one open letter to Cam Newton. And, yeah, let us know your feedback on social media.
I think Ross is being too strict on what a poem actually is.
That's for the listener to decide.
Ross, I wrote it.
You let us know.
I wrote it in the shape of a football. It's a concrete poem. You just can't see it.
Because shapes don't translate into audio form
Yeah,
That's
but it's
problematic.
still a poem.
for the pod.
Sorry about it. Next time I need books and manuals on how you want my poem.
Fair enough.
I got
RBP
no
338 is brought to you by Manscaped. Guess who's Bizak? Manscaped. Every man knows. The penis and balls were not designed in a way that makes them easily groomable. It's like an elephant trunk atop two walnuts trapped within a skin sack dangling between your legs. No direction, no real leadership, just aimlessly swanging and banging, and man, that's no good. You need to be fresher down there than anywhere. Your dick and balls are where you should be at your best, absolute best, arguably even more important presentation-wise than your silly-ass face. Which is why Manscaped is here to change you in your disgusting pubic regions fucking life.
Wow.
The Lawnmower 3.0 is the best hygiene tool in the game for the modern man. Because of their ceramic blade and skin-safe technology, your snags will be reduced. They actually just released their Shears 2.0 nail kit, which is the perfect add-on to their Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. The Shears 2.0 is a luxury 4-piece nail kit featuring tempered stainless steel tools, and it includes slashed, tipped tweezers, rounded point scissors, fingernail clippers, and a medium grit nail file. Their Perfect Package 3.0 comes with a new and improved Lawnmower 3.0, waterproof cordless body trimmer, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag for you to use when you're done quarantining. The Perfect 3.0 also comes with the crop preserver. The Perfect Package 3.0 also comes with the crop preserver and the crop reviver. Everything you need to keep your downstairs mix-up looking good and fresh. Crop preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant, which ensures that your afternoon stroll doesn't end with your balls sticking to your leg. The Crop Reviver is a spray-on toner for your balls. Didn't know you needed that, did you?
Nope.
It's made with soothing aloe and witch hazel extracts that will give your balls a boost.
Nice and tingly down there.
Yeah. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RBP at manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping with the code RBP when you go to manscaped.com. If you're one of the disgusting animals out there who just does nothing to take care of your downstairs mix-up, it's time to change that. Code RBP, manscaped.com today. Take your penis, balls, gooch, and grundle grooming game to the next level with Manscaped. Now it's time for some announcements and shouts. Oh, first of all, we have a couple call-outs here. We're doing the Mental Health Minute every Monday, as y'all are aware, where Coles and I were discussing, and we were like, man, we'd really like to incorporate more listener questions in the form of emails, hotline calls, y'all's stories as well. If you have a mental health related story or anecdote or antidote, get them in. 888-WR-BOLEN. You can email Ross or Chris at rossbolenpodcast.com. Send in questions, send in takes. Just put Monday Mental Health Minute in the subject, or make it clear in your voicemail that that's what you're calling for. And we'll include some of y'all in the Monday Mental Health Minute as a means to kickstart that segment even further. Sound good? Also, call out number 2. We need video interns. If you have experience editing video, making clips for social media, in particular, if you're very familiar with our social media, essentially what we're looking for is more of what we have. We need a lot more interns who are familiar with making good, content-driven, entertainment-driven video clips out of both our podcast, out of our Twitch streams, turning them into things that are able to be posted on Instagram TV, on YouTube, on Facebook, etc. So if you have experience in that area and you are interested in helping out and becoming an intern, the internship will start off unpaid, and then for those of you who do enough work and are contributing enough, there will be paid positions available in that internship as well. Email, again, Ross or Chris at rossbolenpodcast.com. Ross at rossbolenpodcast.com. Chris at rossbolenpodcast.com. Get in your Monday mental health questions, your emails, hotline calls as well to 888-WR-BOLEN. And then if you are interested in a video internship with us, creating social media and internet content from our show and our Twitch feed, twitch.tv/bossrollin, we're going to need a bunch of y'all for a bunch of different focuses, so holler at us. We're looking forward to hearing from you and working with you. You can watch this show on youtube.com/Bolen Media. Hello to those of you who are. We are waving at you at the moment. If you want to see our shining faces, instead of just hearing our voices every week, that's where you go. For all Bolen Media podcasts, including Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, youtube.com/Bolen Media. Coles, you've got some happy birthdays here.
I do. Happy birthday to Addison. That birthday steak got me a little H, I'm not going to lie. It was so beautiful. She sent me a Snapchat of her birthday dinner, along with It's My Birthday, so shouts to her. And a huge congratulations to two longtime listeners of the show, Miranda and JP, for getting married last weekend. You crazy, beautiful lovers, I wish you all the best.
How about that?
How about that? Love. It's everywhere. Love. Found love in a hopeless place.
We go live on Twitch every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. Sometimes we have a schedule change. We announce that through social media. But Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, this week, the next time you'll see us live, Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, and then Sunday at 7 p.m. Central. Coles and I play Warzone. We play Fall Guys. We play Among Us with listeners. More importantly, we watch football. We bet on it. We discuss all manner of different subjects, not just sports, with our chat. And you can pop in, say things in the chat. If you want to play one of those games with us, all you have to do is take a couple easy steps that we describe during every Twitch stream. If you want to get into a game with Chris and I, you can actually do that. It's not difficult at all, playing Warzone, Among Us, and again, Fall Guys. A lot of Fall Guys as well. Love it. Been in a huge drought on Fall Guys. Got to break that tomorrow. Twitch.tv/BossRollin to catch us live every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. We usually go for a few hours minimum. It's time. First segment. So you started fantasy football 0-4. Let me start by saying I finally won this week. I was 0-3, avoided that speech, and I'm jumping straight to the speech for all of you who are 0-4. Because I care that much about you, so here we go. So you started fantasy football 0-4. A full month and 0 wins. 4 weeks and not a single solitary victory. Disappointing no longer describes your season. This is a disaster. You look like a fool. Everyone is laughing at you. What is it, like you and one other guy that haven't won a game yet? You're a pathetic bottom feeder, a sea urchin stuck to a boulder at the bottom of the ocean, and that boulder is your roster. Look, we are past hearing you scream, "I'm 5th in points scored." Dude, nobody cares. Your season is legitimately over if you don't start winning hard and fast. It's time to shake things up at the very least. Time to wake up the goddamn players and remind them who they work for. Trade your only good asset for 2 mediocre ones, and then way overpay for the only available wide receiver and running back projected to score over 10 points this week off of the waiver wire. Those are your only moves. Stir the pot. Do some smelling salts before kickoff Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, and strap in, because if you lose this week, it's actually over. And your only purpose henceforth will be to serve as an agent of chaos, shitting random trade proposals out to every league member daily and burning it all down. 0-4 is pathetic, truly disgusting, and you make everyone sick. But is it over? Arguably no. 0-5 is over. 0-4 is desperate. So act with desperation this week, you pathetic dork, because this is your last chance. Next segment. Goodbye to Bill O'Brien. We're sports heavy at the top today, Coles. Have you noticed?
I have, a bit.
But this is important. It's a big day for me. Huge day for all Houstonians, all Texans fans, really all sports fans if you enjoy seeing a good product on the field.
Amen. Amen to that, brother.
Because as any of you who know and have paid attention to sports or my general social media commentary are aware, the Houston Texans finally fired president, head coach, general manager, dictator, and demigod Bill O'Brien after falling to 0-4 on the season like everyone the prior fantasy football segment addressed. Sad.
Yeah, Ross woke up this morning in his little band that keeps track of his energy and recovery and everything.
Whoop!
Today, he checked it, and it was like, you're crushing it, dude. What happened yesterday? It was so confused because Ross is his mentals, his physical vitals, everything about his life. It's like a 1,000-pound weight lifted off his shoulder. He's glowing. I don't know if
feels that way.
If you're on YouTube.com right now, you can maybe see Ross Bolen, but he might be too bright. That's why he's got the shades on. He's got to contain you. He's like, what's the...
Got to contain me.
Cyclops.
Yeah,
He's Cyclops.
If I take these off, laser beams shoot out of my fucking eyes. That's how excited I am this guy's gone. Not a sad day for Texans fans at all. As, oh my God, thank you, finally, Cal McNair. So we had Robert McNair prior, right? His son took over when he passed away, rest in peace. And so far all he's done is give the butt-chin doofus Bill O'Brien more power. But finally he makes a move. Mailman Gary even had his Texans hat on today. That's how huge this is for Houston.
He was stoked.
Didn't even know Mailman Gary was a Texans guy.
He might
or
not
a
have
Houston
been,
guy.
Might not have been until today. He's finally like coming out of hibernation.
It's been an amazing 48 hours. The second Bill O'Brien was fired, Carlos Correa went yard to take the lead over the A's. The Astros are now 2-0 over the A's. One win away from the ALCS. Bill O'Brien has been an absolute mediocre shite his entire career in Houston. Entitled, rude to the press, had a generally shitty disposition toward all media, gloated over division wins in a trash division, maintained that 9-7 was the bar his entire stay before trading away the best receiver in football and being fired for an 0-4 start when he literally had control of every asset of the franchise, including play calling by the end. Just absurd. It feels like a fucking dark cloud has lifted off of the city. Perhaps a sports curse has been broken. Perhaps this is what we needed to reverse the Astros 2017 trash can scandal. Chris, your thoughts?
I'm just stoked for you, if I'm being completely honest.
I'm stoked for me.
As somebody that's
you can't
seen
tell.
really terrible organizations over and over again, and somebody that's seen bad or really good players go to waste their entire career because they're with terrible organizations, and as somebody that works with you every day and has to basically vicariously live through the struggles of Houston sports,
Sure.
I'm stoked for you. I'm excited to see the future of the Houston Texans. They're in the AFC. My Panthers in the NFC, so I don't really care if they're... I mean, the only time we would ever meet competitively and knock each other out is the Super Bowl, which I would be stoked about that.
Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Regardless, the future is now. For both of our programs, we begin anew. We can ride this grind together.
Time is a flat circle. This is all happening at the same time simultaneously as everything else.
Amen, brother. But, I mean, I'm just stoked for Houston as well, as the Astros won yesterday. If they win, it will be the funniest, most ironic
We play today.
and enjoyable moment. And I don't really care about baseball, so in the history of me watching baseball, I would highly enjoy that just of how much shit they've taken this year. And, like, they're not supposed to be here, correct, Ross? They weren't as good this year.
No, they kind of had a rough regular season.
Haven't
It's
been
been a weird
the
season, though.
favorites.
Now they're just beating the shit out of everybody in the playoffs. They haven't lost a game. It's hilarious. The world is furious.
They're
It's
in
amazing.
sicko mode, bro. They got the Travis Scott Houston vibes.
Yeah.
H-Town, you know.
Yeah. I remember I used to see Travis Scott courtside at Rockets games, and I was like, that's tight, man. But now that he's done, like, every collab possible, including McDonald's, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's just not as tight as I thought it
McDonald's
was.
is like making this a thing now. Did you say that they just released another one with like J Balvin or something like
Don't
that?
know who that. Don't care.
It's
don't,
a Big Mac,
Don't care.
McFlurry, and fries.
Oh, do not give
But
a
the
fuck. Still
McFlurry's
don't know
on
what the
him.
Travis Scott meal was. Never will. Don't care.
You didn't
Don't
go
want to
and
know.
say
Don't care.
Travis Scott sent
Do
you? Cactus Jack
not
sent me?
give a shit. But goodbye to Bill O'Brien. In the meantime, we have like our old defensive coordinator Romeo Crennel at the helm. I'm not sure who's calling plays. The season is a wash. It doesn't matter. We're 0-4. Who gives a fuck? But Bill O'Brien is gone, and the world wants Brett Bellamy. Bellimia? Bellamy.
Is it Brett?
Brellamy? Craig?
I believe it's Bellamy. You're talking about the Chiefs. I think it's Eric. You're talking about the Chiefs offensive coordinator, I believe.
Eric. Bienemy.
Yeah,
whatever. Eric.
Yeah.
Whatever. White guy name. Brett, Tom, Tim, Eric, Sean.
He's not
whatever.
white, though.
Bellamy. He's black?
You're talking about the Chiefs the Chiefs offensive coordinator, right? Eric Bieniemy.
Yes.
Yes, he's black.
No shit.
Yes.
I don't even know who we're talking about. Bieniemy. How do you spell his last name?
Bieniemy.
Texans head coaching.
He's the offensive coordinator.
Prospects. Now I just have to make sure we're even talking about the same guy. Yeah, we are. Okay, Eric Bieniemy is at the top of the list. Offensive coordinator, Kansas City Chiefs. Not a white guy.
No.
Black people can be named Eric too. Turns out.
That's fair. It says he's only 5'7", but he doesn't look 5'7".
Well, I'm not worried about his height or weight. I'm worried about if he can coach.
Oh, he can coach.
Get him in the door. Let's go. New era. I'm stoked. Get Romeo Crennel out of there, too. He sucks. He's like the Trump or Biden of the NFL at this point. Get him out. He's had his chance. He's been there for fucking ever. Enough. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Gone. Bill O'Brien, goodbye. I will never say your name again. You will not get hired into an important position in any franchise in the NFL likely again. You'll be like the quarterback coach for the fucking Colts by next season. Congratulations on a great run in Houston. Enough is enough. RBP 338 is also brought to you by Birddogs, makers of the most comfortable all-purpose shorts in the fucking world. You can literally wear them to do anything, anywhere, at any time. I do it every week. I wear them to work out. I wear them to sleep sometimes. They're very comfortable. I wear them when I'm gaming. I wear them when I'm swimming. Hurrah! So what are Birddogs? They're gym shorts with a built-in silky soft inner liner that makes underwear obsolete. And now they make pants with built-in underwear and without it. If you're afraid of change, you fucking coward. They're the most breathable, summer-friendly, golfing your dick off pants you've ever owned. Perfect for the golf course, the office, or a nice meal out on the town if you live somewhere like I do, or even into the wintertime. It's a little warmer. You know, we're not there yet. It's October, but it's still hot. You want to wear pants to the course because you don't want to look like a clown, but you want to be comfortable. Boom, Birddogs has you, and nobody will even know how much more comfortable you are than them because they look just like great fancy pants. But they're Birddogs, baby. Shockingly comfortable. Feels like you're wearing nothing, like you're walking around like Winnie the Pooh, wearing a top but no bottoms. And they dry faster than a bathing suit, Birddogs. You can hit a workout, jump straight into the pool, get out, dry off in the sun, wear them to drive around in your Tesla because you have a Tesla now. Drive that Tesla back home and wash it with your golden retriever Elvis because you're wearing Birddogs. And bitch, you can do anything. Go to birddogs.com, enter the promo code RBP when you check out, and guess what? You'll get a free pair of nunchucks with your shorts or pants or shirt, whatever you buy. Free nunchucks. Nunchucks are back. That's birddogs.com, code RBP. Boom, free nunchucks with your order. Enjoy your Birddogs. You will never want to take them off. They're a safe space for all your most valuable possessions. Next segment. Everything seems totally fine politically.
Extremely okay. Not much to talk about.
Obviously, we have to address what's gone on since we last recorded. It's been a couple of days, and man.
Seems like a lifetime.
Say what you will about the Don, but he keeps the headlines flowing. Again, I would argue no one has ever been more team content, even if it is in the worst way possible. The guy just can't stop. He was in the hospital like 48 hours.
Yeah.
So he gets COVID. You know he didn't want to go. Everybody admits at this point to themselves, I'm sure, he didn't want to go to the hospital. Trump, not a fan of the optics of what that looks like.
No.
They make him go to the hospital. He's having issues with his breathing levels and oxygen levels. They get him in there. They pump him full of every drug and steroid and fucking not approved by the Drug Administration
FDA,
fucking possible.
experimental.
I mean, they've just got this dude. He might as well be on like fucking V from True Blood.
He was like Darth Vader on the table after he got his arms and legs burned off, just getting pumped full of everything.
Yeah, he's on V from True Blood or whatever the drug is in The Boys that they pump into the superheroes.
Compound V.
Compound, is it?
Yes.
Okay, could have
Yes.
gone with a different letter there. But anyway, he makes them let him out, basically. Well, first of all, when he's there, he does an I'm Not Dead Yet caravan, which was just one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
It was electric.
The amount of planning that had to go into that moment, hysterical in the worst way possible, again, when you think about it. And I'm like the type of person where, like, the shittier something is, the funnier it is to me.
Sure.
You have to laugh to keep from crying type of thing.
Sure.
So watching that dude drive around, first of all, who taught you how to wave? Who taught you how to do anything at this point? Did nobody ever teach you anything? That is not a wave. You're more awkward than anyone at everything. Fuck's sake, man. He's in there with like 4 Secret Service guys. Immediately everybody on the left goes batshit about the Secret Service guys. Just the easiest first thing to jump on. Like, well, wow, he's putting a bunch of other people in danger. Man, honestly, that wasn't my concern. The Secret Service guys that's sort of their gig. My concern was, holy God, the amount of planning that had to go into this. I mean, honest to God, the amount of hours that went into that to ensure it was safe, not just the hospital, the surrounding area. Think about all the doctors and what a pain in the fucking ass. Just unbelievably audacious. Then he checks out. He goes back to the White House. And he's just there pumping out social media. He's tweeting like he's fucking high as a kite, like Kanye style, for real, for real. And we read a bunch of them on Monday, I believe.
Yeah.
Now he's just acting as if it's all back to normal. He went to COVID school. He learned what he had to learn. Now he's trying to do the debate and shit. I saw a headline yesterday that said, Joe Biden thoughts on next presidential debate. So I click on it because I want to know Joe's thoughts on the next presidential debate. It's interesting to me considering his opponent is the president and has COVID.
Sure.
And it was a quote that said, Joe Biden doesn't think the presidential debate scheduled for this Thursday, tomorrow, should happen if President Trump still has COVID. And I thought to myself, yeah, probably shouldn't. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, duh. He's not like allowed to leave his room, right? He's not like wandering around, right?
And so that's what people are saying. They're saying that now Trump has put it on Biden to like Trump has said,
He's like, look at this pussy, doesn't even want to debate me.
Exactly.
Probably because he thinks he'll forget his lines. He knows I owned him last time. He won't even come back out on stage with me. It's pathetic.
So
Sleepy
he's
Joe, probably taking a nap.
Yeah.
Look at me, full of vigor. Just got out of the hospital. Haven't felt better in 20 years. Bro, you're fucking 70-something. That's a lie. That's a silly lie. Then he doubled down. He did it in one of the videos.
Yeah.
I've said recently, I feel better than I have in like 20 years. Dude, 20 years ago? I've seen pictures of you 20 years ago, dog. You were fucking surrounded by like Playboy bunnies and models and just living the life before any level of PC culture entered the scene to fuck your game up. There is no way you feel better now than you did 20 years ago. And if you do, it's because you're fucking high.
Yeah.
I feel super duper when I get out of surgery and I'm on painkillers or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not a realistic time to be making decisions like that, affect the free world.
Remember?
Really, even for yourself.
Remember that video that I sent you and I posted on Twitter of me after my wisdom tooth surgery where I was talking about, hey gang, yeah, that was, imagine that, but the president,
look,
and
man,
just tweeting without that level, level of hallucination.
All seriousness. People were joking, he's on steroids now. Well, the joke is, okay, they're not steroids that like Mark McGwire took to hit home runs, fam. Yeah. They're the steroids that they give you when you're sick. And I've been given these steroids many times because I live in Austin, Texas, and I have horrible allergies. That is until one time I was given a dose of steroid that, or I believe it was a cortisone shot to be specific. Is cortisone a steroid?
I'm not sure, but my dad used to get those shots in his knee.
Is cortisone a steroid? Google, it says, is a man-made steroid that mimics the effect of cortisol, a hormone naturally occurring in the body. Thank you, Google. I got a cortisone shot to help me recover from this very bad flu, cold, whatever the fuck I had.
Was it an ass shot? Is that an asser?
It was in the ass, and it was quite large of a dose.
Yep.
And I got home from that shot and had a total emotional and mental breakdown as a result of the fact that I have panic disorder. And what my point is this. Drugs, in particular steroids, I've taken them before that many times and felt the effects of them on a normal person who doesn't suffer from panic disorder. And they make you weird, man. You don't sleep as well. You're just wonky. They make you irritable and like the world is not the same for that period while you're on that dose of steroid. I took one for a week to get a rash off my arm one time. I had this big ass rash, like took over my arm. Had to take steroids for a week. Fucked my whole shit up, dude. Whole week ruined. Could not sleep for the life of me.
Really?
No. And so my point is like, yeah, it is a little weird. I mean, regardless of if you don't want to play the crazy game of like, what other drugs do they have on? If it's just the factually admitted steroid.
Yeah.
That's a weird concern for me as a citizen, like that this dude's just up there running around working like with COVID, which has been known to trigger dementia in older people.
Yeah.
Pumped full of steroids. That seems a little concerning. So, no, I don't think they should probably do the debate on Thursday. We should probably... My concern at this point is how is this going to affect long-term... What are we looking at here? Because now he's deflected, like all the attention's already gone from the fact that literally the president got COVID to the fact that he stopped these stimulus negotiations while simultaneously nonstop tweeting at Nancy Pelosi to get them done and saying that he'll sign right now or whatever the fuck. It's just chaos. Like, politically, I know there have been times of chaos in this country. I find it hard to believe there's been one that's stacked up against this. When you mix in the social media and you mix in this dude's tweeting ability, like, yes, I'm sure there were times in the country's history where if you handed, like, let's just throw out a random name, like Richard Nixon during Vietnam.
That's what I was going to say.
If you gave that man a Twitter account, things probably would have been tough out there.
Sure.
In these Twitter streets. But I don't believe they would have been as tough as they are now. I don't know that anybody would use Twitter as crazily as Trump does or that anybody ever will again. It was the first thing about his presidency that we were all like, okay, this is wild.
Yeah.
This guy's just like firing off tweets all day. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And we thought like, inevitably he'll probably stop because it was during his campaigning. And then at the beginning of his presidency when he was still doing it, I was like, this is crazy. And then when he's still doing it like 3.5 years later, I'm like, well, this is just him.
Yeah.
This is it forever. Like, I don't think he'll ever stop doing that every day of his life, no matter if he's president or not.
It'll be interesting to see if he doesn't win this election. Will he continue political commentary on his Twitter? Will he pivot back to just like random
He'll pivot back to the
ranting
brand. It has to make him money.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But I feel like he could make money off like literally his supporters for the rest of his life if he wanted to, just selling MAGA hats and 45 flags.
Oh, God, yeah. He built a cult, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can for sure get paid forever. He was already getting paid forever. The thing about him that's valuable is that he can slang Trump bobbleheads in the museums in D.C., like the shops in the museums in D.C. That's crazy fame. His business practices are trash.
I wonder if
the only value in him is his brand. So this is the greatest branding move of all time to become president. But then it's like, yeah, the question is, what do you pivot to from there? That is the most famous you can be. You cannot go higher. What now? Sort of. It's like for like Michael Jordan when it's over in the NBA. Like, that's tough for athletes to move on. What's Don gonna do when he's already achieved most famous person in living on the world?
Maybe he'll turn his golf courses into private free states. Like
so he'll just go back to just shitting money out of his ass for terrible real estate deals and horrible hotels and golf courses.
But he'll turn them into like private.
Not that they're not nice places. Terrible deals, though.
Yes. But he'll turn them into like Portland-style free states where his supporters can come and commune and live together. Like a oasis of red and...
I wonder if he'll work for Fox. I wonder if that's like one of the possibilities. If they offer him like $10 million a year, if he would do Fox commentary.
I don't know if Fox would ask Trump to work for them. Like, I feel like that's like making a very bold decision.
You may be thinking too highly of Fox.
Maybe. I guess I might be. Do you think he'll try to run again if he loses? Because he could. It's happened before.
I don't know. I don't care. It would be over. There's no rekindling that madness once people have gotten sick of it and let it go. I feel like it's like that's it. I'm trying to find the name of this one guy on Fox News where
Tucker Carlson?
Yes. As long as he works there.
That's actually a good point.
The other day they were like, it was like a commercial and it was like Fox News presidential reporting, like election 2020, all the information you need. And it ended with like the Anchorman shot of like 9 reporters like folding their arms or like putting their, all in suits. And they look, and one of them was that fucking guy.
Tucker Carlson.
And I was like, how in the sweet, Jesus Christ, that's like me being like, I'm trying to think of if we had a news show and we did that and it was 9 of us and then one of them was just a Sesame Street character. And I was like, I don't understand why people don't take us seriously as a news organization. Well, maybe if Big Bird wasn't your fucking running one of your more popular shows on the network, then people would take it seriously. Like,
that's the issue. It's one of the more popular shows on the network.
Big Bird would be a moral stand, like a moral ground we could stand on comparatively. Like, Tucker Carlson's just content. That's not news at all. He does no actual reporting. He's a content guy.
Yeah.
Like Waters.
Yeah.
That's a content guy. That's not the news. There's no journalism to be had there.
That's what happens.
If he's in the stack, what? And I'm sure there's a CNN person that is comparatively stupid. But I could not believe they ran out this, like, it was so serious, and I was like, damn, sounds like Fox is trying to pivot back toward like being actually reporting on things. And then that fucker showed up, and I was like, no, never mind. They just made it sound serious. Speaking of which, we'll stop talking about politics now because I grow weary of it. But huge news: there are 4 names on the ballot for president. 4 people you can vote for. 4 parties, if you didn't know: Republicans, Democrats, Green Party, and then the Libertarian candidate. And we have lined up an interview with the Libertarian candidate for president, Dr. Jorgensen, for this Friday that will appear on Monday's show. Now, listen, if some crazy shit happens between now and then and it doesn't actually get to occur, I apologize for getting y'all hyped. But I don't think that's going to be the case. We've got a time slot. We're all booked up. And we're going to be talking to one of the 4 people who's on the presidential ballot for 2020. So, obviously, I don't align as a libertarian. I'm not a registered libertarian. I don't honestly know all that much about what defines a libertarian anymore. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking to Dr. Jorgensen about, as well as just getting sort of her takes on this whole election as a whole. And I'm going to come up with as many good questions as I can. We've got a very short 20 minutes with her. So, point is, just kind of cool to get a presidential candidate on the show. Obviously, that's a pretty big deal for us and an exciting one, and I'm excited to see what kind of answers we can get out of her in regard to providing any type of clarity to our current situation and her messaging, and what she believes would be best for this country moving forward. Just to hear from one of the 4 candidates, as obviously we're not going to get access to Donald Trump or Joe Biden, and honestly, even if we did, we would just hear the same shit we hear everywhere else. So next Monday, got that to look forward to. Going to have a little bit of a more politically heavy show on Monday, obviously, talking about the election, and Coles and I are going to talk a lot about what we're going to be doing in the coming weeks to prepare ourselves for voting, as we have not done early voting yet and still need to be educated on a lot of the candidates on the ballot, and that'll be that. So, yeah, it is a mess out there. Things have maybe never been worse politically, but at the same time, we have a presidential candidate coming on the show, and at least we got that going for us. That's what I'm saying. Right?
I'm proud of us.
Right.
Honestly.
Look at us.
Making big moves.
Can you believe it?
Talking real politics.
Look at us. Yeah, so look forward to that on Monday. Dr. Joe Jorgensen, the Libertarian candidate for president, Monday on RBP. RBP 338 is also brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. Again, we are the first podcast that Poncho has ever sponsored. They're awesome. Best fishing shirt I have ever owned, touched, looked at, worn. I wear it at least once a week. It's sexual. It's beautiful. It's comfortable. You need it. You want it. And right now, Poncho is giving you a free hat when you grab the best fishing shirt you'll ever own. Right now, Poncho. Oh, free.
I know. You're
literally.
Steal. Yeah.
A free hat.
You're basically stealing it.
Yeah, hashtag free hat. Somewhere along the way, someone decided that fishing shirts should fit like trash bags.
Ugh.
You've all seen one of your buddies wearing a big-ass puffy fishing shirt, and it's like, dude, you were already not in great shape, and now nobody can tell how big you are. You look like you could wear anywhere between 200 and 300 pounds. There's too much stuff on them and in them. Everybody else followed that trend for some reason, and Poncho wanted to be different and better, and that they are, my friends. That they are. So here's what they want you to do. Go to their website, ponchooutdoors.com. Step 1, pick a hat. Any hat. Throw that hat in your cart first. Step 2, shop to your heart's desire. And then step 3, use the code RBP when you check out. And remember that hat from step 1? It's fucking free. Free 99 for the hat. Again, best fishing shirt ever constructed, and you can tell the difference in quality just by looking at it. But when you put it on, my God, it's breathable, it's lightweight, it's simple, no cargo, short pockets on your chest, no Velcro, no jamming every size person into a single fit, just a high-quality shirt that fits in every way. Phenomenal hats as well. So go to ponchooutdoors.com, throw a hat in your cart, grab yourself at least one shirt. Boom, the hat is free when you check out and use the code RBP. Ponchooutdoors.com, code RBP, free hat when you go shopping for the best fishing shirt you'll ever own. Get one for your boyfriend, your dad, your uncle, your brother, your sister, whoever in your life is obsessed with fishing shirts, and Poncho Outdoors will melt their brains. Next segment, RBP Impact Initiative. So for over a year now, we've been doing something called the RBP Impact Initiative that kind of comes and goes. It's where Chris and I receive emails from fans telling their stories about how the show has impacted them. and their lives, right? So we get a lot of these, and from time to time we'll pick one that we want to share. Sometimes we'll do a whole segment with several of them. Today we have one. Chris received an email from a fan talking about his experience that we're going to share with you momentarily. Now, before we get to that, if you would like to share your experience with RBP, how this community, this show has impacted you, or in some way, if you have a cool story like that, holler at us. Chris at rossbolenpodcast.com is Chris's email, and mine is ross at rossbolenpodcast.com. Just put the subject line as RBP Impact Initiative, and boom, you're good to go. Chris, will you share with us the email that you received, and we'll get into it quickly.
Absolutely. And I didn't ask if I could use this on the show, and this wasn't technically for an Impact Initiative, so I'm going to leave the name anonymous. This guy won a shirt.
What?
This guy won a shirt on the Twitch stream the other night, and just wanted to share this story that he related to me about specifically. He says, Coles, first off, I just want to say that you're the fucking man. Your testimony about how you dealt with Adderall addiction, and more specifically the details of your addiction, made me feel so seen. Not too long ago, I weighed 119 pounds soaking wet. I was taking 5 to 6 Adderalls a week, was skipping meals to pay for it. I now have my weight to a healthy place. My brother and I are working out 5 days a week, BroFit, inspired by RossFit. I'm not skipping meals, and my 100-day sobriety from amphetamines was last Sunday. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you for sharing. Thank you both for everything you do. I legitimately don't know where I'd be if I had never discovered the show. Love you guys. Gang, gang, gang. Talk soon.
So we get a lot of emails like this from people who have related to Cole's and I's stories, right? Whether it's something to do with addiction, mental health, a family, an experience we had in our lives. And oftentimes, when given the gift of one of those emails from a fan, it sort of reinforces it within Chris and I. And my belief is that when we share these fans' stories and emails with y'all as well, the listener stories and emails, it even furthers the message that you are not alone, and that there are so many people out there who struggle with these things and deal with these things on a daily basis. And so for, again, I didn't realize that specific one was not for an RBP Impact Initiative, but am familiar with the listener and I'm sure he's cool with it. So if you want to holler at us with your stories, if something you've gone through that you believe other listeners would relate to, connect with, and perhaps feel better about themselves from having heard, then holler at our emails, Chris at rossbolenpodcast.com, Ross at rossbolenpodcast.com, and Chris and I will discuss on the show. Yeah, it's such a difficult thing to grapple with drug abuse, especially when they're prescription drugs, right? Like Adderall in particular is such a difficult one because so many people start out actually needing it and utilizing it properly before they fall into a hazardous and unhealthy relationship with it. And it's something that I've watched in my own personal life take a friend and colleague of mine and spiral them really low. And really fast, how out of control it got. And inevitably what happens when you get cut off by the doctors or your Addy guy runs dry is that you turn to street drugs, and it just spirals even further from there. And Adderall is a dangerous one, man. It scares me so much. And I'm, I hate to say this, but I'm confident that in the way that we have an opioid epidemic currently, at some point the amphetamine epidemic is coming. Sure. Because I know too many Adderall babies. I know too many people who have been on it for 20 years. Yeah. And they operate like fucking robots, and it's wild, and they don't even have a doctor. Not a doctor that they have to go meet with. Their script just gets filled. It just gets filled. Somebody fills the script, and Big Pharma crushes, and these people turn into Adderall zombies. And it sucks, and if any of y'all have, and here's the other thing, if you're prescribed to it and you know you have an issue with it, talk to a doctor. If you're abusing it already, you can't just jump off of it, talk to a doctor. Like, I don't know how that affects your heart. I don't know your personal medical history and health. So I'm not here to tell you how to get off of drugs. I'm telling you that you need to get off of them if they're doing you a disservice and they're bad for you, and you know your relationship with them is no longer healthy. Then do something about it. Take a step in the right direction and correct course. And sometimes that can be done without the help of things like rehab and doctors or other medication. But sometimes you need help, and if you need help, there's no shame in that, so ask for it and receive it. Right?
Absolutely.
Any other thoughts on the email from the listener, Chris?
No, dude. I mean, it meant a lot to me to hear that, when he said something to me about it, it made me feel seen as well, because that's not something that's not something that, I've talked about with a ton of people. And so for somebody to reach out and tell me they've gone through the same thing and struggled with the same things and now are especially it's awesome that he's now on the up and up as well. And I mean, we had a little bit more of a discourse after that, just talking about, day by day, get better every day. Every day's a grind, and, keep working towards what you're aiming for. But, I mean, that's the scary thing about Adderall is that it takes such a toll on your physical health as well. If you
God, you look like a step below a meth head.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a good drug. It's definitely not a good drug, and can be abused very easily. The issue is,
and again, it's a good drug for some people.
Yes. I'm saying it can be abused very easily.
I would say it's just like Xanax in that way.
Sure.
There are people who, if I heard the show and you said Xanax is not a good drug, I would flip the fuck out.
Sure, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because there are people who need it and you take it properly. Then there are people who abuse it and give it the negative perception and stigma that it has. And what I'm saying is with Adderall in particular, it was so accessible that I believe that's such a massive number of people. If I know a handful, just one guy, I don't know that many people, fam. I don't keep up with that many people.
Sure.
So if I know a few that have issues with it still, I'm like, oh, this is...
Well, what happens is it's cyclical. So it keeps you awake. Well, not necessarily awake, but really alert and definitely awake as well. So
sure, it keeps you awake, and then you have to drink yourself to sleep, and then
smoke or something like that, and then you don't get good rest, so you need to take another one the next day to keep you awake, and then you stay up even later because you took that one later in the day because you slept in a little bit later, and then all of a sudden you're now taking one at 2 p.m. and you're staying up until 5 a.m. and then you're sleeping for 2 hours. And you're eating you're barely eating one meal a day. Cause
losing a lot of weight now. You look like ash. You got bags under your eyes. You're fucking tweaking all the time.
You're always sweaty.
You're tweaked from South Park. Just it's awful. So if you struggle with that, get help.
Yeah, just take care of yourself and never be afraid to talk about it.
And just take steps, one day at a time, like we always say.
And I've had friends that have been prescribed Adderall that think those are just part of it. And that's not the case. You talk to your doctor, get your prescription, your dosage adjusted, ask them about the difference between different types of releases, short release versus long release and things like that. Make sure you're taken care of and don't just accept that it's supposed to make you feel that way if you are feeling those.
Yeah, if you got questions, ask that doctor. That doctor works for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel comfortable about something or you've gotten a good enough explanation, get another fucking doctor. Because that doctor works for you. Capiche?
Capash.
Kapash. That'll do it for today. But before you head out to take on the world, it's time for some very important announcements. First and foremost, you've been saddled with 3 legal obligations as a result of having listened to this entire podcast. The first of which, you must rate and review. 3 sentences about why you love the show. 5 stars. It's quick, it's easy, it's painless. Check that box. Move on to number 2. Tell one friend, one family member, one coworker, one neighbor, any one solitary, singular, solo individual about the show this week. Share the Ross Bolen Podcast with one person. It's the number one way we grow, by word of mouth. Share the show with somebody in your life that struggles with mental health issues or that loves all the things we talk about on a week-to-week basis. Share RBP with one person this week, one person every week until the week you die. Then check that box and move on to number 3, which is to support our sponsors who support us and keep the lights on here. Birddogs. Go to birddogs.com. Use the code RBP. Get those nunchucks. Manscaped is back. Manscaped.com. Code RBP. Go get your downstairs mix-up properly taken care of. And then Poncho, of course, at ponchooutdoors.com. Code RBP for that free hat. And those are your 3 legal obligations. Complete them all. I'll call off the dogs. We can all live long and prosper. We won't have to see each other in court and waste any time or money. Win-win. Win-win-win-win.
Have you ever considered flipping step 2 and 3 just for technicalities? Because technically step 2 cannot be checked until the week you die. Therefore, would you...
Nope.
Okay.
Never.
Sure.
Never. Follow us on Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast, on Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod, and at Facebook.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. You can follow me, Ross Bolen, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WRBolen, at WRBOLEN. And again, we're live Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Central on twitch.tv/BossRollin. Chris, where can everybody follow you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Q0ULS. You can find me on Instagram at ChrisSC99. And you can find me on Snapchat at Chris_Coulson. That's COULSON. Make sure you keep the content coming in daily. Send me those trash license plates. Send me whatever you guys are up to. Keep us updated. Ross and I want to know. What's the gang doing?
Check out Bolen Media's television and film podcast, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, available wherever RBP is available. OCC discusses general entertainment, TV, and film talk every week. Plus, right now, we've got HBO's Lovecraft Country debut season that we're discussing, covering every week. Amazon's The Boys Season 2, we are up to date and covering every week right now. And Yellowstone Season 2 coverage begins again this week. We're jumping back into Yellowstone. We know we're not caught up. If you're a big Yellowstone fan, we finished Season 1 coverage. We're starting Season 2. If you've never watched Yellowstone, phenomenal show. Go knock out Season 1. Enjoy Season 2 coverage with us on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, the best TV and film podcast in the game. Again, brought to you by Bolen Media and available wherever you listen to the Ross Bolen Podcast. And that will do it for RBP 338, produced by Myrriah, Gossett, and Mike Moody Garcia of Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. We'll be back Monday with RBP 339 and presidential candidate Joe Jorgensen, of course. And then Friday, before Monday, Friday comes first.
Yes.
If you need RBP before Monday, you're like, God damn, Monday? Patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. We drop a Friday episode every single week. They're ad-free on Patreon, exclusive, premium, primo shit here on Patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast for dues-paying members of the RBP gang, as we like to call them, who pledge their monthly support to keep the podcast showing and growing. It's a minimum of just $5 monthly on Patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. Come through, support the show, get more RBP. You are not alone. Podmen get paid. Go Astros. Respect Mr. Park. Strength and honor. Gang, gang, gang. Peace be with you.
And also with you.